Agnes Ethel Westervelt Dowling Simpson was born in Prescott, Arizona on May 29, 1924, to Agnes Ethel Burns Westervelt and Raymond Britton Westervelt. Both of Agnes's parents died early in Agnes's life, and she had to move to Dunedin, Florida, to live with her Aunt Hazel and Uncle Will. Agnes graduated from Clearwater High School, where she was an honor student and an active member in many school clubs and organizations. Upon graduation, her uncle gave her a choice of two colleges: the all-women's college Agnes Scott or the University of Alabama. She chose the University of Alabama. After all, it was where the boys are. It was there where Agnes met the man of her dreams, R.A. Dowling. In December 1943, Agnes and R.A. were married. Both Agnes and R.A. served their country proudly in World War II. Agnes in the Navy, and R.A. in the Army. After the war, Agnes and R.A. returned home, and Agnes began her life in the Wiregrass proudly as a Dowling. The Dowling family was strongly rooted here. Agnes finally had siblings, R.A.'s brother and sisters, and a mother-in-law who became like a mother to her. Kona Dowling, affectionately known as Mammy. Don't ever tell a bad mother-in-law joke around Agnes, because she will quickly stop you and let you know that she had the most incredible mother-in-law in the world. In June 1947, Agnes and R.A. had their first child, Britt Dowling. It was just before Britt was born that the FCC granted Agnes and R.A. the rights to put WOOF-AM on the air. In September 1948, Brian was born. The family grew again in August 1951 with the birth of a daughter, Jeannie. In April 1954, the family grew once again with the birth of their fourth child, Hart. The day Hart was brought home from the hospital was the day they officially moved from Napier Fields into their new home on Woodland Drive, the same place Agnes calls home today. Even though a mother of 4 young children, Agnes assisted R.A. as much as possible in the day-to-day operations of WOOF-AM. Life dramatically changed for Agnes in August 1960. R.A. was crushed to death in a tractor accident. Agnes was suddenly left a single parent with 4 young children, a struggling radio station, and no life insurance. R.A. had let his life insurance policy lapse just days before his untimely death. Agnes met with her accountants a few days after the funeral and informed them that she intended to take over where R.A. had left off at WOOF. They said, certainly as a woman, you don't expect to be paid what he paid himself. She informed them that certainly she did. She had the same 4 mouths to feed, and she was going to do the same job that her late husband had done. She believed that you should be paid based on your merits. And thus, Agnes became a woman in a man's world. In August 1960, Agnes took over the reins at WOOF, and 43 years later still holds them steadfastly. Even though a breadwinner and career woman, Agnes never forgot her duties to her children, church, and society. Agnes had always been active in her children's PTA and their own activities. Agnes has also played an active role in the lives of her grandchildren. Agnes adores the Episcopal Church. She has been an Episcopalian over 70 years and has attended the Church of the Nativity for 60 years, serving as vestryman, Sunday school teacher, altar guild member, and choir member. When the church entertained the idea of allowing women to serve in the vestry, Agnes was not a supporter. But she said if the day came that the church ever supported the idea, then she planned on being the first, which is exactly what she did. She became the first woman to serve as both junior and senior warden of the Episcopal Church of the Nativity. In March 1962, Agnes married a longtime friend she had known since her days at the University of Alabama, Dr. Sam Simpson. In January 1963, she gave birth to her 5th child, a daughter, Lee Simpson. In 1964, Agnes decided to take a huge gamble, a gamble that would years later prove to be the most important decision of her radio career, putting an FM station on the air. When Agnes put WOOF-FM on the air in September of 1964, advertisers laughed at her, saying, "What is FM? Fine music?" She literally had to buy FM receivers and provide them to advertisers. So today, Agnes proudly has both stations upon which to sell advertising. WOOF is her home away from home. At WOOF, she has worn many hats, those of on-air personality, producer of programs and news, sales and management. But the most important hat she wears at WOOF is that of the role of wise advisor listener, friend and mother-like figure to her WOOF family. Agnes is a civic leader. In one of the many interviews conducted with her over the years, Agnes was quoted, "If you are privileged to have good things, you owe civic rent."
I am honored to be asked to present the award to Agnes Simpson this evening. I have an incomplete list of her honors that I'll attempt to summarize. On behalf of a grateful community and a great organization, I'd like to present this to you as very well deserved honor that you so richly deserve. It's a pleasure.
Agnes has paid her rent. In many of her civic roles, she has been the first woman ever. And in many, she has achieved the top awards that each has to bestow. She has also received top awards in the broadcasting industry, the pinnacle of which was the Broadcaster of the Year in 1987.
This letter is for a young attorney in Dothan, Alabama, and it begins, "Dear committee members, I've been intimately associated since 1948 with Agnes Simpson and WOOF-FM in Dothan, probably closer than anyone else. Based on more than 38 years of observing Agnes at WOOF and the way that she has run this radio station and her life, I recommend her in the most highest way for the Broadcaster of the Year award. WOOF was the only station that I know of in the South that started out in 1948 letting black gospel quartets have airtime on Sunday mornings. They were at almost free rates. Although some of their competition laughed, Agnes has always been the only radio leader who still lets free announcements be made for lost dogs and lost cats. Hundreds of people who have recovered their beloved animals because of WOOF testify that for that reason alone, Agnes deserves to be Broadcaster of the Year. There are hundreds of items which will never be listed, though, even though they reinforce what a wonderful woman Agnes Simpson is. For example, her second son had a serious head injury many years ago. He was hospitalized for weeks on the verge of slipping into a coma. In addition to the other things that she had going on, Agnes spent nights in the hospital next to that stricken son, caring for him while he convalesced, both in the hospital and at home later. I know about this because that son's me. Agnes Simpson is the most wonderful person in the world. She will be the first woman to receive this award, Broadcaster of the Year. I pray that you will award this Broadcaster of the Year trophy to her. Yours very truly, Brian Westervelt Dowling. This year's 1987 Alabama Broadcaster of the Year is none other than Agnes Dowling.
Today we are here to see Agnes to be honored yet again, an honor based on her merits. According to the American Heritage Dictionary, a pioneer is defined as one who ventures into unknown or unclaimed territory to settle, an innovator in any field, a foot soldier sent out to clear the way. Agnes has certainly cleared the way for both women and men in all avenues of life. Thank you, Agnes, for being a true pioneer.